Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Temple Israel. I'm Rabbi Michael Wolk here with Cantor Shira Lissick, and we're thrilled that you're joining us here in the sanctuary for Shabbat, as well as on Zoom and on StreamSpot. It's great to spend this time together with you. We welcome in the holy day, marking the beginning of our Shabbat rest with the lighting of Shabbat candles. Please rise. Shalom, everyone. You may be seated. We turn in our Siddur Lev Shalem to Kabbalat Shabbat, beginning with Lechun Eranina. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song, page 11.
Lechun Eranina, Lechun Eranina, Lechun Eranina. Lechun Eranina, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nekanma, Fana Betoda, Fana Betoda, Fana Betoda, Nekanma, Fana Betoda, Bizmirot, Bizmirot, Naria, no. Lechun Eranina, Lechun Eranina, Lechun Eranina, Adonai. Lechun Eranina, Lechun Eranina, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nekana Fana V'Tavitira Narialo, Arbaim Shana Kupidor Va'omar Ram Tohin Levavim Vehem Nedu Derachai Asher Nishpati V'Api Im Yivon Amenuchati. We turn to page 13, Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, sing to Adonai a new song. Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Pasru miyom liyom Yeshuato, Sapru v'goyim kevodo, B'chol ha'amim niflotav, Ki gadol Adonai u'molad me'od. Norahu hakol Elohim, Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Pasru miyom liyom Yeshuato, Ki kol Elohei ha'amim elilim, V'Adonai shamayim asa, Behadar Lefanav, Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Pasru miyom liyom Yeshuato, Shiru Adonai, Shiru Adonai. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, Yiram hayamim lo yado sadai v'chol asher bo, az yiranenu kol atzeyar, lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamin b'emunato.
We turn to the bottom of page 20, the final 3 lines of the page for Romamu.
Ki kadosh, ki kadosh, ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh, ki kadosh, ki kadosh, Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu.
We continue on page 23. We welcome the Shabbat Kala, the Shabbat bride, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha dodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, mekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, mekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, hishmiyanu el hamegilchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, mekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, peni Shabbat, mekabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'necha, ki מקור הברכה, מראש מכתם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise, בואי ושלום, עטרת עלה, קם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
May be seated. We turn to page 27. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and to sing to your name, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, page 27.
be a new melody for many of you. It's very pretty, and you will, I'm sure, catch on very soon. It goes like this. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Let's try that again. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור. טוב להודות לאדוני, וזמר לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפניך, במעשה ידיך הרמים. מגנו מעשיך אדוני, מאור עמקו מחשבותיך. טוב להודות לאדוני, וזמר לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון. צדיק התמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני, וחצרות אלוהינו יפריחון. עוד ינבו מסביב שמים ורבנים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא הבלטה בו.
Page 29.
אדוני מלכי לבש אדוני עושי תזף תיקון תבל בימות. מקולות מים רבים אדירים משברי ים, אדיר במרום אדוני, עדותיך נמנו מלביתך נאווה קודש, אדוני לאורך ימים.
As we conclude Kabbalat Shabbat, the service welcoming Shabbat, we think of our loved ones near or far, and we extend to them the words of blessing, the words of Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך. We sing, כן יהי רצון.
May Adonai bless you and guard you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך. כן יהי רצון.
May Adonai show you favor and be gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישים לך שלום. כן יהי רצון, ישים לך שלום. כן יהי רצון, ישים לך שלום. כן יהי
eyes show you kindness and grant you peace. We now think of those in our lives in need of healing, physical, emotional well-being. We include in our prayers tonight Chana Miriam bat Rivka, Avram Mordechai ben Fega, Tamar bat Rachel Yehuda, Rav Yaakov Chai ben Hadassah, Shimon ben Yaakov, Mordechai ben Naomi, Devorah bat Sarah, Herschel Yehoshua ben Malka, Perel bat Rezel, Dov ben Ita, Shmuel Yaakov ben Kalia ba'ari, Devorah Rachel, Malka bat Sarah, Leib Yisrael ben Tzipora, Eliza Meira bat Leah, Tzivia bat Chana, Yudit bat Miriam, Meira Bracha bat Chana, Tzipora bat Chasha, Fegla bat Chasha, Arya ben Malka, Rachel bat Ruth, Harav Moshe al-Chanan ben Arav Avram Alevi, Kamen Pinchas ben Moshe be'eta, Sarah bat Chaya, Chanoch Yitzchak ben Sarah, Sarah bat Shendel, Binyamin Noah, Ever Yitzchak, Yosef ben Miriam, Shiri Ruth Batya bat Yaakov Yerushalayim, Cyril ben Moshe Kalman, Miriam Tzivya bat Aaron Betova, Chava Charna bat Zevdov, Leah bat Tzvi Zisala, Howard and Beverly Kaufman, Elijah Avila, Jordana Faith Ram, Abel Tannenbaum, Kathy Berlin, Maxine Albaum, Sandra Harold, Don Roth, Gina Fields, and Philip LaMancha. And now take a moment to recite the names of anyone else you'd like to pray for this evening. Misha Berach, the prayer for healing. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you for honoring God and caring for God's creation. May God protect and save you from COVID-19 and send blessing and success to the work of your hands, along with all others who are doing their part to ease suffering and to save lives. May God bless you every time you rise up from your bed, walk out of your home, and go to work. May you return to your loved ones each and every day in full health, and let us say, Amen.
Amen.
We turn to page 30, and I invite those in mourning or marking a yortzeit to rise and join me in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divera kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lameo maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei. V'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yit'halal, shemei d'kudsha, b'richu, le'ela, min kol berchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran b'yalma v'yimru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, V'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May be seated. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good to have you here tonight. Last Friday, I spoke about the story of the Jewish people in the 20th century, the story that is told by the modern holidays, the so-called Israeli high holidays observed in the weeks following Passover. We began a week and a half ago with Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Memorial Day, marking the destruction of the old Jewish world of Europe. This week, we observed Yom HaZikaron, the Memorial Day for Israel's fallen soldiers, and celebrated Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel's Independence Day. In December of 1947, Chaim Weizmann, who would later serve as Israel's first president, was reported to have said, "The state will not be given to the Jewish people on a silver platter." He rightly predicted that even though the British had promised a Jewish state to the early pioneers, that state would not come into existence by itself and unopposed. In response to Weizmann's much-quoted comment, the poet Natan Alterman penned the moving poem Magash HaKesef, or The Silver Platter, which beautifully described what it would take for the Jewish people to have a home in their land. Describing a smoky battlefield, Alterman says, "When across from it step out toward it, slowly pacing in plain sight of all, a young girl and a boy, dressed in battle gear, dirty shoes heavy with grime. On the path they will climb up while their lips remain sealed, to change garb, to wipe brow they have not yet found time. Still bone weary from days and nights in the field, full of endless fatigue, and all drained of emotion. Yet the dew of their youth is still seen on their head. Thus, like statues, they stand stiff and still, with no motion, and no sign that will show if they live or are dead. Then a nation in tears and amazed at this matter will ask, 'Who are you?' And the two of them will say with a soft voice, 'We are the silver platter on which the state of the Jews was presented today.'" The Jewish state, Alterman said, would come into being off the backs of idealistic young people who toil in the fields and then step forward to serve in battle. They are the silver platter used to hand the state of Israel to Jews who have lived since then. Alterman was prophetic because the War for Independence broke out a few months later in May of 1948, and 6,373 Jews of pre-state Palestine, about 1% of the population at that time, gave their lives for the founding of the modern state of Israel. Because of this beginning and because of Israel's many wars, the ethos of honoring sacrifice has been part of Israeli culture since the beginning. So in 1963, the Knesset officially passed the Memorial Day law for the fallen of Israel's wars that established the fourth day of the month of Iyar as Yom HaZikaron. Like Jewish holidays of old, it begins at dusk and ends with the appearance of stars on the following day. But more than just choosing a day, the law establishes the character of the day throughout the land by instituting 2 minutes of silence and by closing restaurants and public amusements for the duration of this day. The law even goes so far as to mandate that relatives of fallen soldiers be given the day off of work with no penalty. Yom HaZikaron is a serious day in Israel, but here in America, we tend to focus more on the next day, Yom HaAtzmaut, the fifth day of Iyar, the day on which David Ben-Gurion and the Jewish People's Council proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel in Tel Aviv. Later that very night, the United States formally recognized the new State of Israel. Like all Jewish holidays, I acknowledge the day through prayer and through ritual. Most conservative and many Orthodox congregations will include the Hallel, the Psalms of joyous praise that we sing on holidays on Yom HaAtzmaut morning. Knowing that the State of Israel is the single most important development in 2,000 years of Jewish history, I believe that it is important to acknowledge Israel not just in a national way, but in a distinctly Jewish religious way. Rabbis have compared this day to Hanukkah and to Purim, the two newer holidays that celebrate Jews overcoming impossible odds to survive threats to their existence. Like on those two holidays, our conservative Sidurim include a prayer called Al Hanisim. We thank you for the miraculous deliverance, for the heroism, and for the triumphs of our ancestors from ancient days until our time. The historic development of this prayer is actually quite interesting, as it's been through a number of versions. But the current version in our book speaks of the days when Jews returned to their borders as in days of old, when enemies from within, together with 7 neighboring nations, sought to annihilate them, and God gave them the strength to overcome everything. But I also should point out that there are other religious Jews, other Zionist religious Jews, who object to prayers like this. So they object to viewing the modern state of Israel through a religious lens. For example, the public intellectual, Dr. Yeshayahu Leibowitz, who wrote in the 20th century, a religious Jew who taught at Hebrew University, stridently condemned rabbis and Jewish institutions that accorded, in his words, religious fervor and holy awe to Israel's military and to its conquests. Leibowitz was concerned about attributing divine inspiration and authority to civic institutions. As an American who was raised with an appreciation of the separation of religion and state, I can certainly understand his concern. However, each of us chooses to make the state of Israel part of our lives, we can all acknowledge that this country, that is only 73 years old, has revived the Jewish people, both in terms of our physical safety in Israel itself and across the world, and in terms of Jewish pride and spirituality. And for that, each year, we are grateful. We're all familiar with the beautiful melody and words of the Hatikvah, the national anthem of the state of Israel. It expressed the eternal Jewish hope of being a free people in our own land. But before Hatikvah was selected, early Zionists considered the ancient words of Psalm 126, a psalm we are familiar from Birkat Hamazon, from benching, as a strong option to become the anthem of the new Jewish state, because Jews had been using these words when they longed for Israel, when they looked to Israel from oppression in other countries for centuries. So I invite everyone to turn ahead in the Sidurim to page 447. At the bottom of the page, where we join together in this beautiful prayer in honor of Yom HaAtzmaut, in honor of the state of Israel that has fulfilled the dreams of generations of Jewish people. The melody, which may be familiar and was in fact the one considered for the national anthem, was composed by Cantor Pinchas Minkowski of Odessa and made famous in the United States by the recording of Cantor Yossela Rosenblatt. Beautiful piece of music talking about our dreams to return to the land of Israel. Page 447, please join with Cantor Lissick in Shir HaMa'alot.
Shir HaMa'alot Beshuv Adonai Et Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomim Az Yemale Schopinu Ulshonenu Rina Az Yomru Vagoyim Higdil Adonai Lasoti Melech Higdil Adonai Lasoti Manu Hayinu Semechim Shuv Adonai Et Shevitenu Kafikim Ba'negev Hazorim Bedima Merina Yiktoru Haloch Yelechu Vacho Nose Meshech Hazara Bo Yavo Yavo Veri
turn back to page 39, and I invite you to please rise for the Baruch Hu, the beginning of the Mariv, the evening service. Be seated. Praised are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's divisions, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from before the light.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים.
Amen. Page 40.
אהבת עולם בגשמך, אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אתה למדתם הגן אלוהים אמן. כי הם חיינו ועוד החיינו ובהם נגע יומם בלילה ובטח תשרים בין לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך ועם שמות. Adonai Elohechem Amen.
Page 43. Then Moses, Miriam, and the people Israel joyfully sang this song to you, Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, page 44.
מלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהן משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם ונאמר כי פזרנה את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Blessed are you who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 45, Hashkivenu.
ופרוסנו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפוריס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Amen. Page 46, we rise for Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, קדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם מעולמי יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויפאר בדרמה מנעשה ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן מעלמה במהרו Amen.
We pray the words of the Amidah silently, beginning on page 47.
Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru
Page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ועלמא דברה חירותי ומלכותי בחייכון ובמלכון ובחי כל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך
לעולם עולם מהמיה יתברך.
יתברך, וישתבח, ויתברך, ותרומה מן הסי, ויזתר, ויזות, ותלש, וקודשה, בריחו, לעילם, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה, מנחמתה, זמירן בעמה, ואמרו אמן. תתקבע, סוטו ובטון, תוכל ישראל קדם, אבוהו נביא שמי, ואמרו אמן. יהי שם הרב, אמין שמי וחיימלין, ולכו ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום, ואמרו אבו יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Amen.
Page 55, I invite you to please rise. If you're joining us from home, you can raise your glass and join me in chanting the Kiddush. Savri Maranan Rabbanan Rabotai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Orei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'Shabbat kodsho b'yahava ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta liotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava u'ratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Chaim. Let's turn ahead to page 63 for the counting of the Omer, days between Passover leading and Shavuot. Join together at the top of 63 in the English. I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer, as it is written in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an Omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. Last night we counted the 19th day of the Omer, so tonight we count the one that comes next. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Page 66. Hayom esrim yom shehem shnei shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer. Today is 20 days, comprising 2 weeks and 6 days to the counting of the Omer. Turn back to page 56 for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, מושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו העינון, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתוך הארץ. ללמוד, כן נקבל חברים. ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני
Mourner's Kaddish is on page 58. This Shabbat, we mark the yortzites of Sheila Kritzer, Sadie Boyce, Esther Doris, Irving Jacobson, Esther Murad, Helga Rosenberger, Janet Jaffa, Selwyn Taubman, Kimberly Susan Bates, Christiana Ruff, Stephen Cole, Natalie Podlofsky, Leona Gartner, M. David Silverman, Herman Klieger, Joel Goldman, Helen Levine, Lawrence Williams, Frank Lubin, Ruth Bograd, Donald Siegel, Bernice Pinchuk, Philip Klein, David Meltzner, Max Zander, Raymond Oppenheimer, Morton Turk, Joseph Wernick, Joan August, Donald Vinnick, Sidney Efros, Lillian Rosenfeld, Gertrude Cohen, Dora Abel, Arnold Levinson, Samuel Rosenthal, Marion Schneider, and Norman Rubin. We also extend condolences to families in the midst of Shiva and Shloshim following the death of a loved one, to Janice Weiner for the passing of her mother, Anna Poiner, to Mary Jean Kushner for the passing of her husband, Howard Kushner. And it's not easy really to share any death from this bima, but some of them are especially hard to talk about and share in the sanctuary, in this sanctuary. And as we shared an email this morning, we extend condolences this week to the family of Audrey Maddens, who passed away yesterday. And Audrey was such an incredibly beloved part of this community, really a fixture in the temple. And really thank God that she was able to come to services a few weeks ago for Kabbalat Shabbat. And among other things, Audrey was a person who really deeply believed that we were able to still feel the presence of our loved ones after they die, believed that the neshama goes on, a critical Jewish belief. And I'll share that when we were singing Vishamru a few moments ago, I think we felt her presence here in the room. Patty, you helped with that also. Audrey's funeral will be this Sunday at 2:30 at the Hebrew Cemetery. It will also be live streamed on the Hebrew Cemetery's Facebook page. And we know that there are so many people from Temple Israel and from many parts of Audrey's life who want to pay their respects to Audrey, to extend their condolences to her family. However, there is still a limit on the number of people permitted to gather for funerals. So we request, on behalf of her family, that consider participating in the funeral through the live stream, and then joining one of the Shiva minions on Zoom the following week to extend your condolences to her children, Craig, and to Maxine, who obviously already miss her terribly. And as we were counting the Omer tonight, I was looking at what the selections from Pirkei Avot that our book recommended studying, and I thought that one of them was really perfect for Audrey. Rabbi Omer, Izohi derech yishara sheyavor lo ha'adam, kol shehi tiferet lo sehu v'tiferet lo min ha'adam. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, Rabbi Yehuda taught, what is the right path that a person should choose? One that brings glory to the Creator, and one that brings credit to you from other people. And Audrey was admired and beloved by all of us in this community and by people really across the world for her kindness, for her intelligence, for her sheer determination in doing absolutely anything. And we will miss her here in Temple Israel. Page 58, I invite those in mourning or marking a yortzeit to rise and join me in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivera kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha brichu le'ela minko berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata damiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. V'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May be seated. Now happy to call on our President, Teresa Brenner, for some words of greeting.
Shabbat Shalom, Temple Israel family. Thank you, Rabbi Walk and Cantor Lissick, for inspiring us this evening. Sean Seifert for your audiovisual support. Adam Ward for your musical accompaniment. Alan Jonathan for serving as our Zoom Gabbai. And to the Maddens family for sharing Audrey, your mother, with each and every one of us. She made all of us feel like we were very special. And I know we all have stories we'd like to share with Craig and Maxine when we have a chance to do so later this week. Please join us for Shabbat morning services tomorrow at 9:30. Next week, we'll be celebrating the bat mitzvah of Dory Braverman, daughter of Gabby Braverman and Josh Braverman. Dory will participate in Kabbalat Shabbat services on Friday evening and will lead us in Saturday morning services at 9:30 a.m. Please join Dory and her family in celebrating her Simcha. We are continuing with our reopening plans. COVID-19 vaccines are available now to all adults 16 and over, both in North and South Carolina. We have congregants with us in person this evening, and all services will also continue to be held virtually. Sign up for in-person attendance continues. Please join us when you feel comfortable. It's magical to be gathered together again in our beautiful sanctuary. Join Rabbi Walk for Jews and Brews on Thursday at 10 a.m. and Rabbi Walk's monthly Lunch and Learn on Thursday, May 13th at noon will be on the mystery of chicken, or is chicken Parmesan kosher? Intriguing topic. Women of Temple Israel will be celebrating Wodi Shabbat with several wonderful programs. Wodi's Rosh Hodesh, study group featuring Cantor Lissick and organized by Jennifer Sampson will discuss Take My Hand, I'll Take Yours, which is Wodi Shabbat's theme. But the Rosh Hodesh event has been moved to next Sunday at 2:30 p.m. So a week from Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Lend your hands to services. Wodi's seeking English readers, Hebrew readers, greeters, and bakers. Please contact Beth Stilatano and let her know how you'd like to participate by April 23rd. There is also time still for your shout-outs honoring women in your life and a tweet-length message to share of original thoughts, a line from a poem, or a meaningful quote around the themes of Take My Hand, I'll Take Yours, and Friendship, which will be used in the Wodi Shabbat services. If you'd like to include your thoughts, please reach out to Ina Lubin. Torah Tot Shabbat morning sing-along and springtime fun will be held at Temple Israel's Courtyard and Garden on Saturday, April 24th at 9 a.m. Please join your Torah Tot friends and Rabbi Kornsgold for a joyful service. Pre-registration is required. After Shabbat, please see our website, Kol Israel, and your weekly email for complete information about the Shabbat Zoom link, the Stream Spot box, and upcoming events, including youth events with Alan Jonathan. We offer many opportunities for services, learning, community, and friendship. Please join us. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Teresa. We conclude Kabbalat Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. We turn back to page 5.
Shalom.